What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson, and you are listening to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. All right, guys, I'm so excited to do this. It's 1 a.m. in the morning right now, and I've just had this on my mind, and so I decided that I would just record it anyway, even though I've got to get up soon. I just really like what I do, so I just decided to stay up and get it done. So anyways, hey guys, today I wanted to talk real quick about the 3 things that changed my MLM business forever. You know what's funny is I once sat down and I wrote all of the businesses that I had done and tried and tried to make money in, and I sat down and wrote them all out, and it was, I mean, just off the cuff, it was probably 13, 14 businesses. It was a lot. And this wasn't like small little endeavors like, oh, I tried that for a day or two. This was like 4, 5, 6 months per thing. And I had been, I've been selling stuff and in the business world for for a long time now, especially comparative to most people, far longer than most people do it or make it, I should say. And you know what's funny is on every single one of them, if I had the 3 things that I'm about to tell you right now, I know that I may not be talking to you right now. So number 1, I'm like, oh, I wish I knew these 3 things, like stuff would have been so different, but at the same time, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now in your ears, and that makes me sad. So, all right, here's the 3 things, though, okay? So I remember one of the very first businesses that I created that was on a subscription model was a smartphone insurance company, and it was a company called Fixed Insurance. And what we did was we went and we were looking at all the different insurance models for smartphones, and they're ridiculous. Like some of them, they were just straight up ripping people off, and we're like, oh, we could totally sell that better. And one of my buddies had a smartphone repair shop, and he owned it for a long time. He did great things with it, and then he flipped it around and he sold it and made profit, and it was great. And so he's like, dude, Steven, let's go make this smartphone insurance company. And you handle like the onboarding of customers, and I'll go handle like the back end management part of it. And I was like, sweet, hey, this is cool, right? And I was in the middle of college. We were both excited. We were ready to rock and roll on it, and it was gonna be really cool. Well, we got to work, and we wrote out all, exactly what it is that we were selling. We figured out like what the different things were we could offer with it. We went and actually we started looking at what all of the people who were also selling smartphone insurance were already doing, right? Same thing that I tell you guys to do, right? Same thing that I did. I went and I looked at the top MLM people, and I was like, what do these people do? What are they actually doing? Oh my gosh, it's totally different things than the upline is telling me to do. I'm going to stop doing the things the upline is telling me to do and start doing what the top MLM guys are doing. You know what I mean? That's basically how it happened, right? That's that's one of the turning things. But for the smartphone insurance thing, we did the exact same thing. We were looking at all the other top people, all the other top companies. How are they selling? How are they selling? Or what are they selling? And it's funny because we went and we planned this thing out. I handled the technology side of it. I built what we call sales funnels, and I put together a sales funnel online. It was all automated so that someone could buy, and there was automation. They could, handle their policies, all this stuff. And I went and I put it all together, and it was really, really cool. And it was cool. We built it, we put it all together, and we hit the go button, and we had a few customers buy. Not many, but enough to be breaking even. And we're like, they, really wish there was more people, but that's not bad. All right, cool. And what's funny is it kind of just floundered. It kind of just stayed there. I mean, for a little while, at first I was just like, well, this is just the period where, they're just talking to the people that they know, and customers will be coming soon, and they never did though. And I looked back on that and I was like, what happened? Like, this is so weird. How come these people aren't joining? What's the big problem with this? And what I realized is that, I got this from Russell Brunson, if you know who he is. He teaches that you need to first figure out your what and your how. Number one thing to take you from $0 to $1 million, as he teaches, is you got to figure out first your what. What are you actually selling? What's the offer? What is it that people want to buy? And then you need to figure out the how. How do you sell this thing, right? How do you get traffic? How do you get eyeballs to see it? How do you get people to come and convert, right? Whether it's from people who know you or people who are off the street, what's the way that sells the best with your thing, right? That's why I always tell people, like, look, going and talking to people on the freaking street does not sell well, right? That's the wrong how on how to sell. There's easier ways to do it. People are already predispositioned to actually buy and get into your MLM. Go find those people, right? Walking around on the street, I'm sure that great people have been recruited like that, but it's sometimes anyway, it's challenging. Okay, it's not nearly as fun of a business to be a part of when that's your strategy of how to make the sale, right? So you got to figure out the what and you got to figure out the how. That's number one. So as soon as you figure out the what, and what's cool is that your MLM has already figured out the what. They know what the what is. They've given you the what, right? They've figured out, hey, here's this cool product, right? You're holding the what. What do you sell? They gave it to you, right? And what's the other part of the opportunity? Cool, they gave that to you also, right? The what is almost completely figured out, almost. There's another step, but I'll dive into that in another podcast here. The how is the part that most people don't think through. And so the uplines are typically the ones who give the how to you. And they say, write out this big list of people, right? And go bug the crap out of them until they actually join, right? That's the how, because most MLMers don't know how to market. And so anyways, that's what my course teaches, right? That's why I put this thing together, because I'm a marketer by trade. And I was like, hey, this could work really well in MLM, and it does. And so anyway, so number one, you got to figure out your what and your how. The what's already almost basically taken care of for you. The how, you got to figure out how to get eyeballs in front of it, right? So that's number one. That totally changed my business when I figured out how to do that, because I figured out a what, right? I figured out a what. And then I figured out the how. I know how traffic comes to it. I know who to target. I know where those people are who, when they fill my downline, they aren't leeches, right? They're self-solvers. They get out there and do it. They don't sit around and suck to me and say, what should I do? Or they don't run from me and I have to track them down. They're not that kind of person. I don't want that kind of person, right? The things I've built, and the internet presence and all the things I've built are as much to recruit people, as much as it is to actually push away the other kind of person, right? It's literally a filter. It's a lock gate. I don't want people who are not self-solvers, who aren't go-getters. And I'm sure you're the exact same. Anyway, so number one, the what and the how. Number two, guys, I cannot tell you what has happened in my life since I began to publish regularly. I don't care what the platform is that you choose to do. I don't care even the frequency, as long as it is somewhat frequent, right? Some people do it every day. I think that's really intense. That's overkill. I can't do that every day. That's crazy, right? Maybe you can. That's awesome. But choose a platform. Some people do a YouTube video and they just talk into the camera and they share what kind of cool things are going on or whatever it is. Or other people that go, whatever it is, you have got to publish regularly. Podcasting is my way to do that, right? I love audio. I love music. I've had a lot of people ask me, Stephen, are you a radio announcer in your previous life? The answer is no. I just really like it and I study it a lot. And so anyways, regular publishing is insane. Oh my gosh, I encourage you to do it so much. Some of you guys want to be bloggers. Great, then blog regularly. You will gain a following that you can market your products to, and you can come from this great position of not being pushy, because they've been listening to you for a while. They've seen what kind of character you have, right? Their walls have come down. They're able to receive a sales message, right? But if you lead with the sales message, man, you push people away so fast, right? So several things happen when you publish regularly. Number one, you get to coach people, right? All right. There's really two things. I think I talked about this in a previous podcast, but number one, if you can find a coach, hopefully someone in your upline of your own MLM. If not, I'm happy to do it. I'm not saying join my downline. I'm saying listen to this podcast, because this is all I talk about, right? So number one, you got to find a coach somewhere, somehow, a mentor, right? If you don't know how to market, find someone who knows how to market. If you don't know how to talk, find someone who's on, or find a way around it, right? Number two, so number one is find a coach. Number two is be a coach, right? And when you are a coach, right, one of the easiest ways to be a coach, even if it's not one-on-one, is to just publish regularly. You will get better at your craft. You will get better at your message. You'll get better. And, I know some people are like, well, I'm not very good at talking. That's okay. You can write. Whatever it is, some kind of regular communication, or attach yourself to somebody who is, right? And you will have, anyway, it is, I cannot believe I've spoken on stages because of my podcast. I've gone and I've met amazing people because of podcasting. And it doesn't matter. It's not just podcasts, whatever it is, regular publishing, right? So number one, you got to figure out what you're selling and how it sells. Number two, you've got to publish regularly. These are like the easiest 3 steps on the planet. Okay, guys, don't look at them and be like, oh, this is so much stuff. Just break them down bite size. Number one, what are you selling? How can you make it just a little bit different than everybody else, right? Number two, or second part of that, how does it sell, right? How do you get the eyeballs in front of it? How do you get people in front of it, right? And for me personally, I wanted to build a sweet system that would help me to do it. So I did, and it totally works. It's awesome. All right, number two, you got to publish regularly, which leads me to number three. Number three is I encourage you to find ways to not be attached to fulfillment yourself. Let me explain what I mean. I'm one of the coaches. I shouldn't say one of. I am the coach for a program called 2 Comma Club Coaching. Right, 2 commas meaning $1 million, right? And what I do is that I'm the guy that runs the program for 2 Comma Club coaching. I always try and keep what I do off to the side a little bit, just so you guys know like that I'm not like promoting other things that's going on. But just so you know a little more about me, I am the guy who runs 2 Comma Club Coaching, and super fun, really enjoy it, a lot of fun. I absolutely adore it. But what's funny is that a lot of times when I help people come up with offers, I help people come up with what they're selling, how to make it different, right? How to get the eyeballs, how to create all their system, things like that. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll tie themselves to the fulfillment, meaning they say, hey, when you join this, I'll do a call with you every week for 2 hours at this day. That's really great at first, but man, hopefully your team grows so fast that you can't handle it anymore. Does that make sense? I was helping my dad come up with an offer once, a cool product, and it does great. It's awesome, and he's figured out he's trying to figure out the how right now though, and he's got people seeing it. It's starting to convert. He's regularly publishing, and then I helped him create the system, and he was saying, hey, how about I go do this cool one-on-one coaching calls with these people when they buy the product. This was unrelated to MLM. This was another industry. He was in the financial markets area. And I was like, you know what? That sounds cool. And it certainly is sexy, and it makes the offer more sexy. But it's not that you don't want to serve people. It's not that you don't want to help people, but that's going to be hell to fulfill on, right? Hopefully a ton of people buy your thing, Dad, or whoever it was I was coaching in 2 Comma Club, right? Hopefully it sells like hotcakes, and because you don't want yourself tied to the fulfillment, it takes away the automation, right? So number one, the what and the how. Number two, regular publishing, and number three, a system, right? And so what I did is I set off. This is almost 4 years ago now when I joined my first MLM. Right, it was an utter failure because I didn't have a system. It was haphazard. My system became literally going door to door, and I didn't have a system. There wasn't a system. There was no process. I wasn't thinking through all my moves. There was no big long-term strategy behind it. All I would do is I would continually write out lists of people's name and lists of what would happen if one of their friends joined and what that looked like on the comp plan. And I know that you have done that. Especially if you listen to this, if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably done that, and that's fine. We've all done that, but that's not a system though, right? It's not a marketing system that pulls people in for you, and it's not to take the human out of the machine. It's not to make it so that this is less personal. That's not it at all. All it means is it helps me talk to people who are actually serious, who actually know how to market a little bit, or who I want to learn. I want to talk to those people. I don't want to talk to people who have no desire at all to learn how to drive an ad or whatever it is. That's not the kind of person I'm looking for. And that's okay. You can be picky, right? You're going to spend a lot of time with these people. Would you want to go on a vacation with them? If not, don't recruit them. Anyway, I hope that's helped. So, so the what and the how, that's huge. That's number one. What are you selling? How does it sell? Number two, please find a way to regularly publish, right? YouTube is a great way. It's free. You can just keep putting videos out there. It's not that hard at all. You can get your smartphone out and literally upload it straight to your own channel. But regularly publishing, this is my second podcast channel. I actually have another podcast channel, and it's been going for almost exactly a year now. And I've had almost 50,000 downloads on it, and it's grown my audience like crazy. It's made my craft better. Anyway. I podcast more than once a week over there, and it's been fantastic. A lot of interviews, a lot of great stuff. But what it's done is insane. I can't even believe it. And everybody kept telling me that. Go publish. Go be regularly publishing, right? You'll start building your culture. You'll start building your tribe. Anyways, it's amazing how much angst that has shortcutted regularly publishing in my own MLM. It's amazing. It's insane. Still blown away by it. And then number 3, you got to create the system. What is the system? And if you want a good example of that, I talk about ways that you can do that. This is my little plug, okay? It's totally free. You can go get it if you want to. If you go to secretmlmhacksradio.com and just put your email in, for 5 days, I'll just send you a video. And what it is a video that teaches you different ways that you can recruit, right? It kind of helps break and rebuild the mindset and beliefs you may have about the MLM industry. And it's in such a way that you can actually send it to your downline as well by simply sharing. Anyway, very powerful stuff. So anyways, guys, hey, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you on the next one. I got a really cool surprise, actually, for that. It's going to be good. Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Would you like me to teach your own downline 5 simple MLM recruiting tips for free? If so, go download your free MLM Masters Pack by subscribing to this podcast at secretmlmhacksradio.com.